Next is a Lamley showcase. You've got a whole bunch of 2019 Hot Wheels P-case models. We did the unboxing just earlier. That case was sent to me by A&J Toys. These models that we're going to open up were sent to me by Wheel Collectors, another Lamley partner, long-term Lamley partner. Freeze that screen. It's a great place to get all of these models as they are released, if you don't want the whole case from A&J Toys. Nonetheless, tons of cool stuff in this case. We're going to get to it. Then we're going to do the Q case unboxing and the Q case showcase as well. Tons of stuff to look at. I appreciate you guys watching, but let's get right to it. The unboxing was eventful because I pulled the Super. That does not happen too often for me. It was exciting to do. We've already showcased this Super as part of the 2019 Super Showcase we did, but still nice to look at this Super once again. I already had the one that Mattel sent me, so I'm going to keep this one carded. But it's a very, very cool Super treasure hunt. I mentioned that there were some previous Morris Mini, well, we'll call them treasure hunts because it's been a treasure hunt before. Here is the one that I have. This is from the 2005 line. This is when they didn't have Super treasure hunts. They just had treasure hunts. And in 2005, they actually celebrated the 10-year anniversary of treasure hunts. And this was one of them, and I thought it was the best one. This is the first treasure hunt I ever found. It was at a Kmart event, of all things. And I was a newbie and went there, and I was the only person to pull a treasure hunt out of my case, and I thought that was kind of fun. I never pulled another at an actual Kmart event. But really, really cool treasure hunt. I mean, they don't do the Spectre Flame on those at the time, at least on that one. But that I think just that yellow with the striped roof is really, really cool. So this Super is the first one since we've seen since then. So we'll get this one out of the way, but we got to take a look at the regular Morris Mini, which is equally cool. This time because it has the Steelies on it, which I think work really, really well. All the deco is the same outside of the TH, but I did see something that I haven't seen very often with treasure hunts, with Super treasure hunts, is that the interior is a different color. So you have the number 10 on the roof. That's white on the regular. On the basic version, it's this kind of gold color on the Super treasure hunt. And then this one, the basic, has a red interior, while the Super treasure hunt has a gray interior. I don't know if there was some thinking behind that, but that's kind of cool to see that kind of difference. All right. Those are the treasure hunts. I don't have the regular with me. Can't even remember what it is. Not memorable enough for me to showcase it. So we'll move on to these other basics. I thought the Porsche Panamera, the police recolor, was kind of cool in black and white. This one has a gray interior with red windows. I'm guessing they did the red windows so that the sunroof could replicate in some way, some form of police light. This Panamera casting is okay, but it's really been upstaged now by the eSport casting, which I think was super realistic and super cool, but still nonetheless kind of a cool version, that police version. I'm going to save this because it's a new model recolor, the Mustang, and we're going to move on to what we have in the background over here. Some of the other basic models. I'm going to try not to make a huge mess out of these, and I probably will because these are falling down. This next one, Ford Focus RS. Another recolor. The first one was in green. This one is in a very cool kind of, what would you call that? Matte gray color. There would be some sort of color maybe that Ford does, but I love it on the black 10 spokes. I love the RS deco. This, like a couple of other Hot Wheels castings, really, really needs the taillights done. It would break it up nicely. Obviously, it's the shape of the taillights is embossed into the casting, but it would be nice to see the taillights done one of these days. I would love to see a basic version with them and the headlights too. We've seen the headlights done on some previous versions. So cool deco from the side, not necessarily from the front, but I definitely think that's a nice one. Next one, we'll go across the way. Another recolor. It is the 65 Mustang 2x2 Fastback. We've seen this, I think, originally in, boy, I'm going to forget the colors, maybe white. There's been two colors. One of them might have been was it a Kmart exclusive? Now we're seeing this one recolored in yellow. Looks nice on the black MC5 wheels. 65 Mustang's a cool casting, and one that was nice to see return to the basic range after a while. It's been a long time since we've seen that. So I just kind of thought that one was nice. Next one. This is the only unlicensed casting. There's my mess. I like to make messes. This is the only one that's unlicensed, but I thought it was cool. It is the Track Ripper. It's a really cool casting. It was released, I think, a couple of years ago, and I just love what designer Leeway's done with the Speed Blur series. He's done some really cool graphics on these, kind of unique graphics, and then he's done all the wheels in gray, which makes them set apart. And that's not only in this basic range, but also in the Speed Blur 5-pack, which had the Datsun 510 wagon in, if you remember. This looks cool. Love the red lace wheels on it. I hope Speed Blur comes back or something like it in 2020. I'm not sure if that will happen or not, but I'm all for that one. That's a really, really cool series. All right. Next basic car, another recolor that I thought was really cool is the Lamborghini Reventon Roadster. Lamborghini Reventon Roadster. And I like this one. The casting's cool. Has a little bit of that issue with the rear wheels kind of sitting a little bit too inside the casting. But one of the models that I thought, and I just think this one's cool in white, kind of a pearl white color with this Italian flag, with the Italian colors running along the top of the model, which totally reminded me of this one, the Ferrari 458 Italia from several years ago, obviously when Hot Wheels was still doing Ferrari. This was the same kind of color scheme, right? Kind of a pearl white color. This one sits on the MC5s, but I loved the Italy colors along the side of that casting. I just thought that was a really cool version, and this Lamborghini fits together with the Ferrari perfectly. Just such a super cool pair of cars that kind of should be just put together the whole time. It's really, really neat combination. All right, let's move on to the new models. We got a couple of recolors. We'll get to those, and then we'll get to the full new models here. 3 of them, all cool, all European, which is kind of cool. So we'll start with this one. It is the custom 2018 Ford Mustang GT in Gulf colors. First one was obviously in the standard Gulf colors, which is that light blue with orange. This one goes white, which tends to be the recolor that they'll go with, is the white with the Gulf trim. And this one has the orange base. So looks cool. If you're a Gulf collector, cool. If you're a Mustang collector, cool. If you're a new model collector, like I like to keep all the new licensed models, I think that is cool too. And I'm glad that this one, when they do these racing versions, they leave the wheels alone, meaning same size on both the front and the rear. It makes this one sit nice and low and just looks really cool. So big fan of that Mustang. All right, the other recolor, Tesla Model 3 in red. Of the 3 castings that Tesla castings that Hot Wheels has done, the Model S, the Model X, and now the 3. The 3 is by far, to me, the best casting they've done. Love the original version in white. I think this red casting is great. I hope they do a couple of other just stock versions. I don't know if we'll see it, but this casting is really, really nice. I like the car a lot, too. When I see it on the road, I actually think it's, of the Teslas, it's the best looking. I'm not a big fan of the X. It just looks a little bulky to me. The S is nice and sleek, but I think the best Tesla is actually the most affordable one, the Tesla Model 3. And they did a really nice stock version of that. All right. Let's get these all situated and away from the glare. 3 cool castings here that I really am excited to open because I haven't done that yet. The first one is this. It is the Alpine or Alpine. I think it's the Alpine A110. I'd imagine that those of us in the U.S. are not terribly familiar with this car, but there's a lot of heritage there. I know that I had a reader do a showcase on a classic, on an old casting of a classic Alpine or Alpine. You guys are going to correct me, and I hope you do, so I get this right when we see this casting again. But I love this version. It's stock, it's clean, it's unique. It's an introduction for so many people, including me, on a car that maybe we're not too familiar with. And so some of you fans and readers and viewers in Europe, I think you're excited to see this one done, and hopefully you're able to find it there in your area because I like it a ton. All right, I'm going to go over here. We'll finish off with the Aston Martin, but 2 British beauties. The Range Rover Velar Debuts in silver. I don't know if we're going to see recolors on these late issued models. I hope we do, but I'm guessing that since we're through the Q case, we're probably not gonna. But I really like this version, and they've given this the full detail. And when you think about it, I don't know if it's something that Range Rover wanted to see, but the 10 spokes are perfect. Full grille detail, side detail, and that allows for full rear, and it can wrap around because they did the side detail. So they gave this one a little more attention than maybe they typically would. It's got that like side stripe running from the front to the rear wheel, and then actually along the whole side of the car. That is super nice. I didn't realize all the detailing on it. All right, last one, Aston Martin Vulcan. This thing is just mean. Silhouette by itself is just insane. The art looks nice too. Now, if you remember the unboxing when I did it, both of those that I pulled from the box, and I don't know if this is going to become an issue, but both of the ones that I pulled had broken spoilers. So if you can see on the back of this one, cracked spoiler. We're going to open these up just to see how this goes. And this one, if you look from the side, and I can show you, it's broken too, the one on the bottom there. So if I do this, I'm just curious now. We might as well do this together. I want to see. Yeah, that's just mangled. Look at that. There's that. That just, it didn't even have a chance. Let's keep that other piece on there. And then, look at that. You guys who are finding this are going to have to tell me if you're seeing a similar issue. And then there's this one, so let's open that up. I think we can just, look at that. Let's try and get that in focus there. It looks like it just, I'm just having a hard time. There we go. I bet, yep, it's loose. There we go. I've got a cleaner silhouette version. Well, that was a pretty sad 0 for 2. Thankfully, I have the version that the model that Wheel Collectors sent. So let's get to a proper one. I hate to be a downer on them with those first two broken ones, so we should get to this one. This one's proper that Wheel Collectors sent over, and it looks awesome. The only detailing I see, the only like actual tampos are on the front. I don't see anything on the sides. Maybe they said we'll take the tampos from the that we could put on the Aston Martin Vulcan. We'll put them on the Range Rover Velar, right? Because they don't need them on the back, really. It'd be nice if they could do it. Maybe they will in a future version, but that looks cool. They don't need it. Wow, that is just something. What a cool casting. I hope they don't feel like they have to fix that spoiler. I'll just have to... Hopefully mine is the exception to the rule, and most of them are in good shape. Well, there you go. Those are the 2019 P-Case highlights. I think they are pretty sweet. I'm a really big fan of those 3 new models. You guys tell me which one's your favorite of the new models, the basics. It's going to be quite the battle for new model of the year, licensing model, because there's some good stuff. And still a couple we need to highlight from the case as well. So, thanks everybody for watching. More to come. Bye.